Yeah, so we're gonna download Android Studio. Just do a search, download Android Studio, and usually you can just use the first link. So click on the one that has developer.android.com, and then you can just download. The green button there, download Android Studio. You can just click on that, or you can take your time and read through some of the features of the IDE. It's just so you can have an idea of what you'll be using. It's always a good thing to do that. And then you click on download Android Studio. Read the terms and conditions. If you want, read the whole thing. If you want, just skim through whatever suits you. Agree to the terms and condition, and then download. It takes depending on your internet connection, it takes a minute or so. Just download, and once the file is done downloading, all you gotta do is I'll just keep this. Click on open file, and you should have a pop-up, just like you're installing any other regular Windows installation file. Click on next. You can choose to have the Android virtual device if you're going to be running the apps on your computer using an emulator. You click on that, you click on next. The installation for the installation location, if you want to change that, you can go ahead and change that. If not, you can just click on browse and change that. If not, you can just click on next. If you just click on next and go ahead, this is what most people are going to do anyway, so just click on next. If you want a shortcut, click on if you don't want a shortcut, just do not create shortcuts, but that doesn't really matter too much. This is going to be done, and click on next and finish. You can just go ahead and start Android Studio right there, which just do that. Finish. And if you had the previous installation, you can click on the first one and then import your settings, but you can just go ahead and do, since it's the first time anyway. And then this is setting up Android Studio. Click on next. I usually just do the custom one because here I can change the look of the Android Studio, right? So you can go ahead and do standard and change things later, but just go ahead and do custom. And usually I like the dark Android Studio, so I always go custom. You can change the location for the GRE. Just leave everything as default, and then I think you have like different versions, so just leave it as default. Just leave it as default, and then click on next. Here you go. So I do Dracula, dark, next, and some other options here. Click on the Android virtual device if you want, like I said earlier, the emulator. You would want that if you have like a high spec, not even high spec, but at least a high spec laptop or desktop. Click on that. Select your SDK API, and then set up the emulator. 4 gigs. This system here has 32 gigs of RAM, so 4 gig will be a pretty sweet spot for, it's even recommended there, so it's a sweet spot for my emulator. So I just go next. These are all the settings for so far, and finish. Downloads the components here. I believe it's downloading the SDK and other things, and then it's gonna go to the next screen in a little bit. Let us wait. There you go. I mean, you can just skip. Oh, this thing is taking its sweet time. Okay. Go grab yourself a drink or whatever. Just wait for this thing to get done. And once it's done, this is about the last thing you do for the setup wizard. So once it gets done downloading and installing all these things you chose to set up, I believe this is taking a while now, just because of that emulator. Usually it's around 1 gigabyte plus for that Android emulator. So if you choose not to use the emulator and you just want to use a physical Android device, which is always the better thing to do. So if you have like a physical Android device, you can just use that as your test device. I would say not your actual phone, but well, I mean, you can also use your actual phone. I use my actual phone without any issues, so you can also use your actual phone and do some of these projects we're going to be looking at. And for Android, you can either use Java or Kotlin, as your main development languages. I usually use Java at work, and just recently started using Kotlin too. So once this is done, you are gonna I think just check for updates. Click on configure, and then all the way down check for updates. And here I see you have updates here. Just update the ID, and you should be done after this. And in the future videos, we're gonna do some easy Android Studio, not Android, some easy Android projects, like just to get you accustomed to the main elements you're going to be using for most of your applications, like text views, uh, edit text, buttons, and whatnot. But first off, we're going to have to learn how to use both Java and Kotlin, So, in future videos, I'll be putting links to where you can actually learn some of these things. Learn more, I guess, because I'll make videos on some of them, but you still have to do most of the studying yourself. It's always good to learn on your own. So when you have free time, just delve into all these things. Okay. Hopefully it's easy.